Okay. I'm hoping this works out. We've been trying to troubleshoot what happened the last time, because the first playcast we had was fine, but the last time the video was all screwy as soon as I switched to my view, or I went back to my game as on the full screen. So we just did a test. It worked. I think it's good. If you're seeing something completely different on the screen, it probably didn't work.
Yep.
So, hoping that it will though. I also am keeping the audio free from headphones right now, so you might hear some of that through the microphone. But I wanted Uni to be able to hear kind of some of her audio this time
Oh,
around.
okay.
So it shouldn't be overly distracting if you can hear it. But if you do, that's why. So we're also joined today by Esme. She's just sitting here, chilling,
She's wiggling.
wiggling. Yeah. But she's being good, so we have baby here for the time being. And also, Uni and I talked about pausing discussion while she's doing uh, story stuff so that she can actually get through the story instead of us just chatting.
Yeah. Keep it moving.
Yeah. Oh, now we started talking, and now she's a fussy butt. Now you're a fussy butt.
Oh, I need to go do more. Am I really?
So yesterday she spent a good amount of time reworking her hot bars, as you can probably see. So that's still a work in progress. She's getting used to everything again.
Yes.
Um,
We're gonna still feel it out. I played with it a little bit, but I'm not comfortable yet.
yeah, I mean, you've got the extended hot bars. I have that, but they're not visible all the time. I just have the one regular hot bar above, so I can keep track of my cooldowns.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm using it for as well. For the the cooldowns to see if I can hit those items or those actions yet.
Fair enough. I need to put continuation on here, right? Yeah. This is not. Oh, well. Oh, you're being a fussy butt again. You stop that. I don't know if you'll be able to hear her, but she is just going around.
She's distressed.
She is very upset.
Oh, I meant my character, Lady
Oh.
Chai. Esme is just wiggly.
She is a wiggly. Until you get any further, I'm going to be in the Bazja. So I will be slightly distracted, but actually, what do we? First, I wanted to thank you guys for being so cool about the last one. I expected. I didn't mean to apologize for like when we were talking about our beliefs, but I know that one, it makes some people uncomfortable, and that there are a lot of family situations with people that where people just grew up with it being shoved down their throat in a very hypocritical way.
Thank heavens you're here.
So I didn't want to make people feel like I was going to do this or we were going to do the same just because it was our belief system. You know what I mean?
And
So-
it was more of like a disclaimer of this is where we're going right now.
Yeah, I've spent too much time on Twitter where people don't believe in moderate stuff. No central.
this
It's
have
very yeah. It's
audio?
got voice stuff. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
gonna finish my thought, so I actually remembered it. I just yeah. Some people are just very quick to judge in the opposite way, but no, I'm glad that everybody was super cool about it. I don't plan on
Yes.
going too in depth because this is still like gaming stuff, and I don't feel like I really have the right to preach about anything necessarily, but just the fact that you guys were okay with us bringing it up, we might bring it up every now and then. Because it does play a part in our lives, and the baby.
I think she might need to be changed now.
Oh, okay, so Daddy's gonna leave now. Okay.
Yep.
You entertain everybody. I'll be right
I'll
back.
try.
Lady Chai, whatever is the matter? I knew not where else to turn. Oh, this is all too much for my poor heart to bear alone.
She is quite distressed.
Alone?
What of Master Chai?
Oh.
But that is the very reason I summoned you. He's gone.
Well, maybe he liked working on things again and he's just gallivanting, working on something.
What? What happened?
It all began after the events at Mount Golg. With Lord Vorthry out of the way, we all agreed that a new leader must be chosen.
And so you held an election?
Just like we are.
Yes, well, sort of. Not a single person volunteered to stand, you see.
Oh. But no one wanted to be the leader. Because it's all a mess. Someone would have to clean up all of it.
After a lifetime of leisure, we free citizens have grown somewhat indolent. Readapting to the harsh realities of life is trying enough, but to take charge of a broken city as well? No one wanted such responsibility. Nevertheless, Yulmore could not well do without a leader, and so we decided that anyone and everyone should be considered a candidate. And after we cast our ballots and tallied the votes, the mayorship fell upon my dear husband.
Oh. I mean, he did play a big part, so I could see why they wanted him as their new leader.
Well, given the manner in which he orchestrated the construction of the giant Talos, none could deny his leadership qualities.
But even before then, he had proven himself at Daedalus Stoneworks, don't forget. He is more than qualified for the role. The perfect choice. Indeed. I told him as much when his victory was first announced. But perhaps I was too forceful in my attempt to encourage him. For shortly after that, he vanished without a word.
Oh.
You believe he was so daunted by the burden of leadership that he felt compelled to flee?
That is the gist of it, Alfino.
Please, Lady Chai, dry your eyes. Your husband does not strike me as the sort of man who would abandon his duty, much less his beloved wife. There has to be some other reason for his absence.
You truly think so? What about you? What do you think has become of my husband?
Oh no. What are our options? Sorry, but I think he's fled. Let's just go along with Alfino and say, I don't know.
And there you have it, Lady Chai. You needn't worry. Master Chai loves you more than all the world, and he will return. Wherever he may have gone, rest assured we will find him.
Oh no, we have to find him.
I was gonna say, I hope you're at least giving some reactions.
I am. I was being a little bit repetitive because I would say something and then Alfino said the same thing.
Well, that works. As long as it's not dead-ass quiet. We're just like, when's Drak coming back to get this going again?
I will trust in my husband and await his return.
I await his return. You have the pillow still, so do you want the baby or do you want to make a trade?
I don't know.
Because she's chilling.
Yeah, I'll leave her with you if she's fine.
Oh, wait. You heard your voice. Yeah, she's not gonna be. She's not. He's
like, no.
I can feel it.
I can feel it in my bones.
The tension in her back. She's like starting to like wiggle. She's trying to find you. She's like, I heard Mama. I told Jessica the other day. I was like, anytime she hears your voice or she has the option between the two of us, she goes, that song plays. You could get with this, or you could get with that.
Yeah.
I could get with this, or I could get with that. And she always chooses Jessica. So, when they're older, they choose me. Because I'm playtime daddy.
Yep. And I am
Disciplinarian.
rules and disciplinarian.
Yep.
And no fun over here. Ugh, okay.
Why won't you let me climb the cat tree, ma'am? Adeline is the climber.
Yes. Yeah, Ariella would try something, fall, and then never do it again. Adeline is like, oh, I fell. Maybe I should do something different this time.
Yeah.
And she goes and climbs again.
She is something else. But yeah. So, the other thing that some people were asking about was how we met Nest. And typically I'd like to do that with a bigger group so they can give their side as well. And somebody was bringing up that I had talked about it in a previous video. It must have been a long time ago.
It was a long time ago where it's kind of like if you go back to your first few videos, you kind of cover it with each person because it's kind of all broken up. I don't think there's anything where it's all in one video.
Yeah.
I think it's all kind of broken up between a lot of the beginning videos.
Yeah. So, I think this is just reading. You can read and I'll go on with this. It started, because I was playing 11 for a long time, and I got to this point where I felt that I didn't have any motivation to upgrade anymore, because I would upgrade to get better gear, to just fight the next thing to get better gear. Like, I as much as I like Monster Hunter, that gameplay loop seemed so pointless to me at the time, because the only goal, or the goals weren't to, sorry about that, if you guys heard that, I still get sub notifications because we're recording through OBS.
Oh, okay.
So
I was like, why did that go
Savannah's
off?
turkey noise. Anyway, so I stopped playing 11 for a while. And then I had heard that Final Fantasy XIV was having another beta, and I heard that some people were moving over, and they had made link shells and stuff, so I was like, alright, I'm going to give this a shot. And I looked up the classes and all the jobs and stuff, and it looked really interesting. So I was really intrigued by Dragoon. Dragoon, Thaumaturge, and Monk, obviously. And I ended up going with Monk. I don't think I actually made it to Monk, but anyway, I did the last beta. And then I got some friends in with me. You joined... When did you start playing? It was after the beta. Because this is...
Yeah, I didn't play the beta.
This was like my last year in Indiana, or our last year in Indiana. So...
I didn't really get into it till we had moved back home.
Sorry, she choked. There we go. I'll try and cut a lot of that. So if you just heard a big blank part of just silence, then Esme was crying. So, are you gonna keep going along with your, or
Yeah, yes. I need to gather information in the buttress. I don't know what that's called.
So, yeah. She joined a while later. We had friends back. No, I had friends up at Purdue that I played with for a little bit. Yeah, that's how I moved to because I started on Cerberus. I had a really rough go with some of the groups. Just I was around a lot of people that played League of Legends, so I was around a lot of toxicity. I wasn't strong enough to resist that, so I was definitely one of those newbies that would get corrected on stuff and then get really defensive. And that caused quite a bit of friction, obviously. So I left Cerberus, and then my friend was playing on Lamia, so then I moved to Lamia. Tried to join... I can't remember if... I think... I don't know if I joined a free company, but I made a free company with a friend here. Then we kind of fell out with them. I kept the FC. Then we had some other people come in. They helped us get our mansion. Then we fell out with them, which is a story I definitely don't want to get into. It was super
Just
stupid.
in the beginning, trying to find our group.
Yeah, so we definitely had a lot of touch and go. We had people who were not always the greatest to us, or just weren't a right fit. Some people were toxic, even if I can't say I was perfect back then either. But yeah, so then let's see. I was raiding a little bit. I had gotten my warrior up because I figured people need tanks more than they need DPS. So I had my warrior up. I had tried doing first coil. This is back in in Cerberus, I think, and I screwed up on just T1, and then they went on they got together kind of last minute. I wasn't in the group, and then they cleared without me, so that was like a big thing. That's why I left that one. So I was trying to get back into raiding, and the group that I had made kind of like scraped together, or like joined. Kind of, no, we were looking for a couple pugs, and at the time Jesse was in another free company. I think it was just Jesse at the time. So I can't remember when Seabass was there too. It was Jesse and Seabass. They were in the Amber free company, and they were notorious during the hunt heyday. That was fun. But their FC leader, or the FC leader's boyfriend, filled for us for T5 because we were trying to get that, and somebody was in that group. They got a better offer with another group, and so then they kind of left us before we cleared. So that was not fun either. And so later on, fast forward, I'm looking through Party Finder. I see that FC leader in Party Finder looking for DPS. So then I applied, and then I started raiding with Seabass and Jesse. And we almost got to... No, we got through T9. Right, because you have to remember back in this day, T5 was the last fight of the first tier, because tier T3 was like a speed run stage. There was no loot, you just had to get through it. It was a really odd one. So yeah, T5. So T9 was the end of second coil. Most people probably know that, just in case you don't though. We were having some trouble. FC leader's girlfriend, or the FC leader, I forget which one it was, left for another group that was getting the clear, because like some members that we had were getting clears with other people, but it wasn't screwing us over because we weren't clearing it. So it's not like we got left out of loot, and they didn't leave our group. They just went with their free companies or whatever. So yeah, Jesse I'd have to bring Jesse on at some point and talk with him about it, because I've made kind of jokes about it in the past, and this is the same person. It was a healer who took a DPS ring from Ramu because it had crit on it. They totally left our static at the time high and dry for that. So I ended up getting my clear elsewhere. I left that static because I was really trying to even just replace myself, and we couldn't find it. It just wasn't happening. So, oh, there's just random sounds out there. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh, I thought it was our kids, and I think it's our neighbors' kids.
Oh, it might have been. Why are they up? Like 9 o'clock.
They're up till 10 sometimes now.
Jeez Louise. Anywho's it. I hope this isn't too roundabout. I just wanted to give enough context, and I feel like if you guys hear that even we went through rough patches of like finding a group. You guys, because I know a lot of people just have a really hard time, and it wasn't perfect for us to start. So I just want you guys, don't feel bad if you're having a hard time, because it's understandable, for sure. So I'm getting attacked by a gorilla that shouldn't have aggroed me, and it did anyway. Should.
Oh.
So basically, that free company with Jesse and Seabass fell apart. And because obviously the leadership was so... I'm not going to throw stones. I am definitely not in any place to talk, especially back then. But we... what was it? I invited Jesse to the free company. And I can't remember if Seabass was there.
I think they were a package deal. Like, they both came.
Yeah.
In my memory, anyway.
Seabass was playing more at the time.
Yes.
So, he had gotten on, and I was like, oh, is Jesse gonna keep playing? I liked playing with him. And so Seabass told Jesse, and Jesse's like, why is Drak wanting to play with me? Like, he didn't think that we were, or I guess that I thought he was cool or whatever. So he came back, then they brought Corey in. Steve and Craig were also their friends from WoW. And they were interesting. There were definitely a lot of things that kind of carried over from their WoW days, which is why you saw so much turnover in the beginning. It's like, why aren't these people playing with you anymore? It's like a lot of these really old gripes that they had with each other kind of came to a boiling point through some of the raids, and I was just caught in the middle because I was the...
You were the new guy.
Technical raid lead.
Oh, and the raid leader.
It's my FC. It's our FC now, but at the time it was my FC, and so yeah, I caught some. Oh, bye Tenchi Jin. Thank you, AoEs. You guys can't see it, but I'm suffering here. So yeah, that all happened, and then after that, we just kind of started bringing people in. So yeah, that's the core group. Jesse, me, and Seabass played together first. Then Corey came along with Craig and Steve, and then Corey has actually been the longest standing member in Nest aside from me. So Corey and I are the only two true blue veterans from Alexander, because Jesse's had his hiatuses and whatnot, and Seabass left, which is another story we shouldn't get into, because we finally squashed issues that were happening, and I don't want to dredge them back up. So yeah, that's basically the foundation of Nest.
Yeah.
And what we did, and then we met everybody in person. So we had a D&D session with Mike, Savannah, Corey, and Seabass. Steve was gonna come, but
when did we do that? I feel like it was forever ago now.
It was like it was the year before FanFest, I believe. I want to say it was before the FanFest because they didn't go. I don't remember. And then I met Jesse in person for the first time at Larry and Eva's wedding.
Mm-hmm. I was not able to attend because we had previously, like a couple days before their wedding, we had just gotten back from visiting my family in Texas. So I was not about to hop on a plane again with kids. I was tired.
Yeah. And also, it's a nightmare because sometimes airlines will be like, we have, like, when you're renting a car, they're like, well, we have this stuff for you, or we have a car seat for you, but it might not be there when you show up. I'm like, it kind of needs to be when we show up, you know, just so that, because we can't drive the freaking car if we don't have.
A lot of them were like first come, first serve. So like technically we have these things, but if you aren't the first one to get it, then you won't have it.
And guess what? Isn't fun to carry around flights of stairs and escalators and all that stuff? Car seats.
Oh yes.
So we had to bring those with us. Jessica's holding the baby, so I'm stuck with the car seats, and I'm having to like readjust. I think Adeline was still in the car seat too, so we were like carrying her in it.
Yeah, we carried her in the
jeez.
smaller car seat, and then you had to also carry Ari's car seat. All through the airport, down to wherever the car place was, and then set it up in the car, and it was hot.
Yeah. So when I got to the wedding, like, oh, I wish you and the girls could have come. I was like, no.
Like, I would not be as happy right now.
Oh, I would have. I wanted to make more of a stink about it, but I was like, no, I understand. I appreciate that they love our family. I was just like, don't put me through that crap. I don't care. I already flew all the way out here.
No, and even you needed a break after meeting all of my family. Because we go...
Well, it's not like I just met them. It's just
no, it's more like used to that many people. Because my Texas family is big, and they all live really close together. So I'm used to, you know, people come in and out of my grandma's house all day.
Yeah.
And so you were not used to that.
No, and this is the Mexican side too. So it's everybody's very close, very around each other, like all the time. And the most I had was we go visit an uncle, we go visit an aunt.
No, what is it? If my grandma makes beans, or if she makes, if she just makes something, she lets everybody, all our kids know, and they all come over at whenever.
Yeah, they're all within like 5 miles of
each
other. So
yeah, and all of them come over and
it's just a
grab
lot.
a little bit.
It's just a lot.
Some come with their kids. So it's not like it's just one person coming over.
That was a huge culture shock for me. That was very difficult.
Oh, is this voice?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It might be.
I don't know. I can't hear it. So.
I can't hear it either, so I think you're good. I apologize if I'm talking over it. I will let you react to this, though.
Yeah, I kind of figured he was off somewhere working on something. And so once I realized he was a leader, and then you go and you meet somebody who's talked to him, and I'm like, oh, he was gathering intelligence on the status of everything. But maybe he got so, and was it wrapped up in what he had to do as leader, he forgot to tell his wife that he was leaving.
Yeah.
I left a letter. Oh.
I really like this story arc for him.
Oh, you want to go take this one to bed?
Yeah.
Esme is officially out.
We'll see.
She is laying here with her mouth open.
Yeah, but as soon as I pick her up, she's gonna like, oh, this is daddy. Yeah. Yeah, I don't like him. He can't feed me without a bottle. Yeah.
Well, she is on the pacifier, so she should convert. Just give her it when she lays down.
Look at those bright eyes that just popped right open as soon as she came into my head.
Hands.
I was gonna say arms, hands, and then my brain shut down. Hi, sweetheart. I'm gonna go. Okay, she's okay. I'll be back, guys. Sorry. I'll be right back.
he is still debating it. After all that work. Resources. Oh, he must talk to someone first. Exactly, Alfino. Yeah, whatever you need. We're here to do quest stuff. Oh, yes. Or a boil. Oh, yeah. How hard could it be to mayor over people? Over these people of all people? And just such a... the great divide. Those that are so poor but want to work, and then you have the upper class that have the reality check that just happened, but then they're not really ready to work. A lot needs to happen to make it a functioning city again. Who is this man? Oh. Supposedly you tried to talk to him and he's just like, nah. Oh. Interesting. Yeah. Oh. It does make sense. Now I must go and talk to them. What do they know of this Rendon?
Okie doke.
Success?
Mm-hmm. You remember this guy?
Yes. Been a while though.
Been a while. Also, not a success. She is still pretty awake, but she is calm. So I left her alone. We have
Yeah.
the baby monitor on. We have eyes on her. And we'll see if that holds up. But she popped open the second you handed her over, like I said she would.
But she didn't cry.
No, but still. I'm hungry. I'm gonna heat up that pizza later. Let me see real quick. I got through that story faster than I thought I would. So while you continue doing that,
You want to go into work-life balance?
we kind of talked about that already. I think if anybody wants to know specifics, I'll take questions on that. But I don't know.
But did we? I don't feel like we did. go into the process of how we created our work-life balance. Because I mean that might be more of
Yeah.
what people might want to know.
Maybe.
Because achieving work-life balance, that's going to be hard for me. Is one thing, but the road to getting there is what I think it's let people know that we've gone through. We didn't talk about the different iterations of it that we went through.
No, I guess so. Just remembering all these things that I suggested at one point, and just the look of defeat on your face every now and then. I'm just like, I'm trying to help.
Oh yeah.
Here, let's see.
It's just the issue of like I know you're trying to help, but I have things that I've already thought of in my head, and if you bring up something that you don't know, I've already rejected it. So then I'm like, well, that's no help because I already figured out that's not what I want to do.
Well, so my thing is that there are certain parts, let's say just the home first, that I like taking care of. And they're not things that I expect Jessica to do exclusively. But I spend most of my time working, and then I help out, and then I have my few hours to actually help out around the house, and then I go back to working. What? That was weird. Sorry, my connection's being odd right now. So yeah.
So we'll talk about how we had it set up when you first started YouTube.
Yeah, that was. We've been talking about that one quite a bit on our own, just because. Hi, kitty cat.
Oh, do we have audio here?
Well,
I don't know.
It's you again.
maybe.
Well, I see you've
It's
invited
not.
your friends.
It's not plugged in, sweetheart.
Oh,
It's coming through my speakers.
well, I
just-
can't hear anything.
Yeah, let me. Here, I'll mute my stuff because I don't need to have.
I didn't invite them, as it happens, though they are indeed my friends. Not
It's
all
low, but I
mine.
can hear it. I think it's
Every
going.
true Yulmorans.
Sorry.
They are the ones who awakened us.
Oh, I can hear it now.
To Lord Forthry's villainy, the famous warriors of darkness.
Are they now?
Yes, they are. It would be no exaggeration to call them our saviors. We owe much and more to their kindness, but we cannot depend on that kindness forever. To do so would be a little different from entrusting our affairs to Lord Forthry. Nay, we must learn to stand on our own 2 feet. And I would have them present to witness my attempt.
Hear, hear, Master Chai. Your sentiments are admirable.
Got our hand out again.
Admirable sentiments do not a nation make.
Just put the pacifier in her mouth. Don't pick her up. Okay. If you pick her up, then it ruins everything.
In my capacity as advisor, I once strove to build a better Yulmore. Gave honest counsel to my superiors, drafted laws for the benefit of one and all. But in time, my values fell out of favor. There was no need for them in this paradise Vorthry was creating. And so I left my homeland behind.
Makes sense.
But you, Chai News, you were content to wallow in indolence under Vorthry's auspices. And so I cannot help but ask myself what manner of nation you intend to build.
Ooh. Calling him out.
offer no simple answer to that question. But this much I will say. It is my hope that Yulmore can become a nation which her citizens might freely choose to build together. A great many people, myself included, flocked to Yulmore seeking sanctuary. The alternative being to live in fear and die in pain. Seemed an easy choice. And sanctuary we found. As much food and drink as we could ever want. Secured at the cost of the surrounding villages. Little wonder the people gathered at our doorstep, begging to work among the bonded. The free were blind to it all, of course. Content to, as you say, wallow in indolence. Were I mayor, I would first take stock of the city's resources and see that they were assigned equitably. Our days of reckless consumption are behind us. The distinction between free and bonded died with Vorthri. The needs of rich and poor alike must be considered if our nation is to survive.
Yep.
To which end I would take steps to secure channels for supplies, rekindle relations with nearby settlements, who re-establish industry, reach out to neighboring nations, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah, the rebuild.
She's completely out of the swaddle now. How does she wiggle like that?
But I am no ruler.
Maybe use the other blanket. That one can get a tighter fit.
Where is it?
The by the foot of the bed.
Okay.
The months one.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. I'll find it. Or something.
Or try a different swaddle method, because she usually doesn't get out that fast.
Yeah. Okay, well, once you're done with that, maybe you can talk about work-life balance.
Yeah.
You started off. I'm not sure where to begin with it all.
Okay, I can start it off.
My expertise
I'm an entrepreneur.
haven't the knowledge or experience to run a nation. Please, Rendon, will you not help me? Together, we could solve the city's problems. Build a Yulmore for the people.
We're thinking.
For the people.
We're thinking.
I'd rather like the sound of that.
We have our answer.
But before I offer you my counsel, I would be certain of your ability to perform the duties of office.
You would?
You ask me to help you solve Yulmore's problems, but first I would see you solve one on your own. Accomplish that, and you will prove both to me and the people that you are a man worth following.
Very smart man, Rendon. Let's see what this is gonna take me into. Oh, another cutscene. Food is quite important. Now we must feed our hungry. What will he say? I'm gonna turn Drak off. He's gonna be talking to the baby while he changes her. It's gonna get a little loud. Oh, yes. How much money do we have is the question. How much food can we buy? And yeah, that's a lot. Oh. Yeah, because if we want to build something for the people need to be able to be part of that rebuild. And there we go. He's got his expertise of the working on the Talos. Yep. He can do it. That's cool. Look, I'm a man with a plan. Alright, we into another cutscene? Alright, no. Bringing up work-life balance. When Drak first started out on YouTube, he wasn't streaming. He was just doing rating and videos. So it was a lot more loose of a schedule. Really the only schedule was raid when they would raid. Or when we would raid, when I raided with them. And then videos he would work on them when he could, and he would publish them when he could. So it was very more loose at that time, and he spent a lot more time with Ariella, and we had a bit more of taking turns with taking care of her and chores around the house and things like that. It was a bit more split than because it could be with the loose work schedule like that. And then fast forward to when we moved in with his parents. That's when we really tried to make the YouTube an income. So we had to get a bit more serious about the scheduling of things. Because with the algorithm, back then, things still had to come out pretty regularly, but not like it is now. just so that there was content for people to view every week. And then he also had goals for himself of how often he wanted to post. So that's where, I ended up splitting the stuff in regards to like household cleaning and cooking and taking care of Ariella. I ended up splitting that more so with my mother-in-law than with Drak at that time. And then also, she was able to watch Ariella for a night, and we could go out on a date night and things like that. So that one didn't put any stressors. Oh, here he is. He can talk about what type of schedule he wanted to set when we moved in with your parents, because that's when we upped the ante on the videos.
Did we? I forget.
I was saying that I ended up splitting a lot of the responsibilities with Ariella and cooking and cleaning with your mom, because we were living with them, and that you were able to put videos out more on a regular basis because you had kind of created more of a schedule then.
Yeah, I know that I started like more of a stream schedule. We'd had that kind of going beforehand. But yeah, you definitely had a lot more help. So I felt better about leaving you to do it, because if you ever needed a break, my mom was right there, and my mom loves the girls. So
Yes.
that was a very fortunate scenario that we had. Not really necessary for one kid, looking back on it. I appreciate it a lot more now when there's 2 and 3. But yeah, I finally started to try and treat it like a job, because I knew I needed to put in the time that a normal job would require in order to make the most of it, So, told that to Jessica. She agreed, and she kind of took on those home responsibilities more so I could work on work.
Yes.
Right?
I don't know if this is a cutscene.
Don't think so.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then that kind of kicked it off. Later on, it got a little trickier because, well, we had a good 3 years where it was just me, Jessica, and Ariella.
Yes.
So that made things pretty easy. It was near the... No, on Ari's 3rd year, we got into a house because we were able to do well enough. So it was like 2 or 3 years into doing the YouTube stuff.
I feel like she was 2.5.
Was she?
Because shortly after her 3rd birthday is when we had Adeline in December.
You go grab her this time, and
I will.
I will take over for the story. Yeah, because I remember that very acutely when we went to the hospital for Adeline. Because I was in this room right now, my office. And it was 4 days early, 1 in the morning, and I had to get Ari in the car and drive Jessica to the hospital. And yeah, we kind of gave that story already. Anyway, so then we were kind of more independent. She didn't have the help of my mom. But I was trying to find... Jessica and I just have different things that bother us. So as far as like what I help out with around the house, and I'm kind of assuming this is part of the whole work-life balance, because one, I just set a straight schedule. And we've had to kind of rework it every now and then, where it's like, when I'm waking up, when I'm going to bed, versus when she's up, when she goes to bed. And then trying to find the overlap where we're up together, where I can help her with stuff, where she has time to herself. She's still mad.
Yeah.
She's gonna bust out of my
Yeah.
baby straitjacket that I gave her. I just don't want her to flail around and wake herself up. Jeez. Okay. I'm trying to. I didn't like take notes on this, and my memory's not great with it. So I'm sorry if this is all over the place. I'm really trying to keep track of what was happening. So it was really just experimenting with stuff, and we didn't have a good sleep schedule for the girls. They would wake up a little later, but they would stay up later too, and that would be when like Jessica went to sleep. And it's only been in the past year and a half or so that we've gotten them to bed at around 8:30, and then they wake up at around 7 or 8, which is is pretty good for their age, the amount of sleep that they're getting when they do sleep. Because if it's a nightmare night, forget about it. Anyway, so then we have time now to do stuff like this, or if we don't feel like talking, or if I did my stream where I did PvP, and every time I lost, we ended up doing duels because the queue times were too long for the feast matches. Every time I lost, I did push-ups. I think I got up to like 80. It felt like 80. Probably closer to 50. But, yeah, so originally, I was working quite a bit more, but she was also coming in a lot and being like, hey, can you help out with this? And then that would break up my flow and be difficult. And so then on her end, it was trying to allow me time to work uninterrupted. And that's when we really started getting a lot more rigid with the schedules, where before I'm working from home, therefore I'm always home, and therefore I'm always available, is kind of how it was interpreted for a while. That's how you said. I'm not trying to.
No, I also thought my interpretation at that time was also that you were going to make yourself available because you were working from home. Like with adding in Adeline, we knew there was going to be a big change from 1 kid to 2 kids. So my expectation, or even my interpretation of what we were going to do, was that he would be more available because he's working from home. So where I could come in and be like, hey, can you take her for a couple minutes? And then I could go be with Ariella, and then Adeline would have someone to be with. But then, like you said, the way it flowed, or the way the day would go, I would just keep interrupting him. So then he was not really getting any work done, because he would have either Adeline or Ari in here, and then they would just end up messing with stuff, and he couldn't really work while they were in here.
Yeah, Ariella definitely messed, she just hit stuff on the keyboard. And then at that point, Adeline was still a baby. So then she was just fussing, and I can't work when I'm holding her. I can play a game, but I can't work. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So the allergy medicine I have makes me sleepy. So yeah, it was just not ideal. I'm trying to think. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry.
So I would say that we had maybe a couple months of doing that, where we realized, this isn't working. We're both feeling more stressed. We're both feeling more strain, and we need to come up with a new plan. And so that's where we created the schedule, where I personally had to make the mental, what would you call it? The mental adjustment
Yeah.
that even though he is physically at home, he is going to work. And so we would treat it that way so that he still is, because he is working from home, he still has like you wake up, you have like an hour to 2 hours that you are hanging out with us, you know, he's eating breakfast, and he can be a bit more free with that time,
Yeah.
I guess you would say. And then he goes to work at a certain time. So that's the mental adjustment, is that he's going to work and he is no longer available.
Yeah.
And the girls also kind of had to adjust to that as well.
They still haven't adjusted to that.
No, because they hear your voice and then Adeline's like, Daddy?
Yeah. now Adeline's at that age where she messes with the keyboard and she hits stuff, and I can't have her in here. Ariella can at least occupy herself, so I'll let her sit in here sometimes. But every now and then she'll just want to chat, and she just talks and talks and talks and talks. And I try and entertain her for a while, but she also just goes.
Yeah.
And then at some point she's like, now that I have your attention, let's go play a very convoluted game where I make up all the rules, but I don't tell you any of them. But I will get mad at you if you don't listen. So, sorry, my gripes with her sometimes. Then,
Alright, so
oh yeah.
objective.
Kira, would you just chill?
Rotate.
Either
and
come up here or calm your butt down.
give the
She is
signal.
such a little jerk right now. You're driving me crazy. And I would like you to stop. Shh. Do you see the sass I deal with from this animal? Jeez. So yeah, where to go from there?
That we created the schedule,
Yeah.
and so now I'm not interrupting you, and
Yeah.
you're having a consistent work day, or like hours that you are working. And then the next adjustment came for what time we do streams, or you do streams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that one kind of ran into dinner time sometimes. And for me, that was an issue.
Yeah.
Because the way I was brought up was that we all sat together at the table and ate dinner together. So the fact that he would be basically running long, and now it's later and kids are hungry and angry, and so I'm dealing with them, and he just kind of comes in after a stream and I'm already upset.
Yeah.
So that was the next thing we worked on.
Yeah. It was an adventure.
Yes. So now we have we kind of fixed it. I don't know. Like
I mean, it's better. Like, we had to talk about what you expected for the day and how rigid that had to be. So that was my accommodation for you on a much more strict, when this hour hits, you're done kind of thing.
Do I
Don't
have to
go over
wait
anymore.
for him to be turned around, or just the other ones? Because he's not turning around completely.
Oh, maybe I forget how this one works. I think it's just when he's...
Because they're all... I'm going to wait for them to go away, and then... There? Oh, no, that doesn't look right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know when he was... Because he never turned around like the other one did.
Yeah, I don't know. Forget how that one worked. So yeah, then I had to just, okay, it's this time, and this is done. Sometimes there would be miscommunications where I was like, oh, I thought I told you this time, and it's like, no, we agreed on this time, and so then we had to work on that.
That's where we made the calendar.
Yeah.
That's right. So we... Oh, why did that not execute the signal? I did it. Pressed the button and he didn't
You
go.
didn't do it.
I pressed the button. Anyway, so we made a calendar. See, I did it, and now it's not. I'm pressing it. Oh, now it says give the signal. I'm not gonna do it now because he's facing us. Okay.
Okay.
Do it. Ah! He turned around.
That one wasn't being nice.
So we created a calendar where I'm gonna get through this thought. We have written down the times of when everything's going on for his work schedule. And it's in a place where both of us can see it. And then I can just come up and check it without interrupting his workflow and asking him when is he doing this and when is it going to end. Because that was the other thing. I would try to be preventative, but then I end up interrupting you. And that was another issue.
Yeah.
But so we created the calendar so that I could check and know when to expect him to be free and know when he would need the girls to be quieter. Or us to do a quiet activity when he was streaming. Which sometimes works, sometimes doesn't.
I think most people the girls have become a part of the stream. Now, angry baby, mood baby. I feel that. Yeah, people just like.
Oh yeah.
Not associating, finding kinship, or gosh, what is the? I can't think of the word.
Camaraderie?
Relating. Yeah, they just relate to the baby.
The phase that it is.
Yeah.
But also in regards to the dinner thing, like this week, Drak posted the streams, and I knew he was gonna be streaming, a lot more, because that's the plan. I understand the plan, but it's at a time that is not the best.
Well, yeah, because the reason why it's at a time that's not the best is because I thought that the fall back would give me an hour. I thought that basically I'd be going earlier, but that's not the case. I'm going later because we're in Arizona and we don't observe daylight savings time. So I post everything on Pacific time because it's more frustrating, I think, for people to try and keep up with our specific schedule. And just go with the time change based on everything else. People are already used to EST or PST, so I just use PST because that's the closest to us. And so now we are an hour later than our Californian brethren, and that made things go an hour into dinner.
Yes, so we
I walked into the living room like, I'm don't be mad.
Yeah, he said, don't be mad. And I was like, what did you do? And you had the most awkward pose as I started to ask him questions. He just felt more like,
I didn't mean.
I don't know.
We had thought about it, we had talked about it, and then we actually got to it, and I goofed. So we're trying it out for the week, and then if it doesn't work, then I will just cut it an hour earlier, which isn't too bad. Streaming for 3 hours at a time is rough. But it's doable.
Yeah, there we go. Do the thing. Oh, the bomb saw him.
I have a hard
Whatever.
time seeing those. They're blending in with the.
No,
That kinda-
I was checking the robot and I forgot to check for the bombs too. That was silly of me. There we had a schedule conflict. We talked it over and said we'll try it for a week and we'll see if we can make it work. And so far it hasn't bothered me as
Well,
much as I thought it would.
Yeah, we also made a compromise too.
Oh, what do we do?
Well, you said that you needed time to prep for dinner.
Yes.
So I would make time an hour earlier than stream to watch the girls while you did that. But for the most part, what I've been doing is actually prepping it myself.
Yes.
So it's one or the other. I don't mind prepping because it still gives me time to myself, but it also helps Jessica out. And some nights I'll just be like, let's go get a pizza. And she's like, I'm so glad you said that.
Yes.
So I don't want to cook.
Go, go, go. He did it. Yes, so the scheduling is an ongoing thing, as you know, we adjust it for different circumstances. Like right now, we adjusted to, I think you already posted this on the YouTube, that you adjusted to do more Twitch streams because there's a lull in content with Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. And Twitch is, like, I've been trying to put out content on YouTube. YouTube will either not recommend it. Some people do like the other content, but it's just not nearly as popular. And it just takes a lot more to get the same payout. And since this is still a business, I need to make a balance change on my own to like figure out, okay, how can I still make videos but also make ends meet, because people on Patreon support the YouTube channel, but then like it's just been I've been trying to find stuff, and this has been the best content so far where more people have come in. It's not like rewatchable like it is for the raids where people just kind of keep them on loop or will put them in a playlist, but
We're not that funny.
at least you guys can put this on in the background, and it's been nice. So I'm hoping that we're keeping you entertained.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah. The other thing
Yeah.
that I've been trying to do is set up days where we like take care of certain chores, so then I know when to set time aside and we can all just like kind of like get stuff out of the way, because in no time with all these kids, especially with all we do cloth diapering, no judgment if you don't, it's really just
It was our choice. Mostly my choice.
Yeah. It's a, like, as far as like the environmental argument, it's kind of a net
it would depend.
neutral.
Yeah, because it depends on how much water you end up using for your area.
Yeah.
Or like how much it costs to use that much water for all the washing.
Well, that's economical, but environmentally, I don't know. Like it's a tough thing because there's, for whatever reason, no good system for regaining the groundwater that is recycled. I don't know. We have a treatment plant here.
Is this
but yeah. Anyway, it's just the way that we preferred it
yes.
to do it. So that might be voice acted. So basically, it just means
we have a lot of laundry.
Lot more laundry. Could you stop it? You intentionally get down, and then you walk away, and then you meow. I'm not going after you anymore. Stop it. Oh, she's driving me crazy, guys.
Oh, wow. He apologized. I thought he was just going to say, like, well done, man. That was weird because they had him smile and then just return to his normal face, so it looked like he went back to almost a frown.
Yeah.
I agree. Oh yeah, your beloved wife, who thinks you've gone and run away. We should get back to her.
Silly Mrs. Chai.
Yeah. I left a letter.
Speaking of communication.
A giant neon sign above that letter.
Yeah. But I will...
Right. Right
Oh,
then.
yeah, that's
All
definitely
right
voice
then.
acted.
Make for Yulmore.
It's interesting, like the ground is shaking, but yet we have no trouble like walking behind them.
Yeah. It's for dramatic effect, love.
I know. I just wanted us to have some sort of like quake
Yeah.
happen with the character, but it didn't. It's fine.
I'll bring it up to Yoshi at the next fan fest.
What's that noise?
My wife.
No, that sounds terrible.
Very displeased.
Don't start it with that.
My beloved has a grievance.
Call the guard!
He's got to run a long way. That guy.
Stay back! All of you!
She ran a long way.
She sure did.
Darling, you're back.
But of course I'm back. You didn't see.
Oh! And then she just drops it.
That's what he gets for not leaving a noticeable letter. That'll teach him.
That he had to heal him.
I'm sorry, my darling. It's just the sight of you filled me with such joy, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no, it's all right, dear. I should have just come out and said what it was I was intending instead of entrusting the task to a hastily scribbled letter.
Does that mean you'll do it?
Well, I'm here, aren't I? I mean, not that my absence signified any unwillingness, you understand? Oh, no, naught could be further from the truth. I only left to enlist the aid of the former mayor's senior advisor.
Want to find someone to help me.
And now that I have it, I believe
It's
I
not
am ready
a
to take office.
bad idea.
No. It's admitting that he has weaknesses and that he does need to lean on someone else in order for things to be for the better of the people.
That makes me want to talk about stuff I can't talk about.
Nope. Nope. Don't do it. Oh. Are we? Why are we not scared this time? He learned nothing.
Please.
Oh, that ragdoll animation there.
Yeah. They've really brought it out in Shadowbringers.
Yes. How are we on time?
Let me check. Hopefully this doesn't mess with anything. We should wrap it up soon.
Okay.
We're over an hour here. I will say, if you want to know anything more specific, then ask that and we can kind of retouch on it. We kind of were all over the place. I think we got the general idea out.
Yes.
But yeah, there are... I did kind of want to say that going back to wanting to schedule things for like household chores, I'll still do stuff, and I try not to gripe too much. There's still things that really bother me, but I try and either do them or help.
Well, you have to remember the way you and your significant other were brought up affects this whole cleaning process and chores, because that's where we have our differences. Is when I clean something, I have certain expectations versus when you clean something.
That's more like laundry.
No,
Because you didn't like how I
everything.
folded stuff.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It's everything. I have accepted that the way you do things, even though it's not how I would have done it, all that matters is that someone did it and I didn't have to, and
Yeah.
to be appreciative that something got done. Because before it would bother me a little, but now it does not.
Well, you hit it well because I had no idea. Like, I knew that some stuff bugged you, but for the most part, like...
Because it's trivial. I'm not going to be like, you didn't clean it this way, so I'm upset. No. It was more of like walking over and be like, oh, he didn't do it like how I thought he was going to do it. So I might go clean this later.
She's gotten better at also asking me to help.
Yes, that one's really
stuff.
hard still. I
know.
gotta get
But
it
I
out.
also like it when I can walk on our floor and there's not a pile of clothes in every walkway.
That's honestly just something I've struggled with since for forever.
See, I was never expected to clean growing up. My mom would always make passive-aggressive remarks like, oh, are your arms broken if we left stuff in the sink?
Mm-hmm.
But that was like the extent of it. But she always kept stuff clean, so then I am more comfortable when things are clean, except for my office. That's just, I've given up. But Jessica, when I do stuff now, thanks me for doing it. And I absolutely hate it when people are like, well, you were expected to do it, you shouldn't get gratitude for it.
No.
That drives me up a wall because it just encourages me to keep doing stuff, because even just her being like, oh, you did a good job. I like the praise. Like, for me, it's a big deal. That's kind of one of my love languages, though, is the words of affirmation.
And it's mine too.
Yeah.
And I think
so
that's...
then I thank you as well.
Yes.
For doing so. Even if there's stuff that I see that I'm like, oh, I'd like that to be cleaned up too. The fact that she did anything at all while still having to do with the kids, like, I'm just...
Yeah, we're
thank you.
appreciative of each other.
Yeah. So...
Because you really don't have to go and clean that. Or you really don't have to do this chore here or there. We both, when we do a chore, we are making an effort to, help the other one out.
Yeah, we're a unit.
Yes.
So, and you're going to have a whole lot harder time getting somebody to keep either cleaning or doing chores if you're like, oh, well, this wasn't done. After they've done
right?
stuff. That's
And be like, I ain't doing anything for you anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for me.
So I appreciate it when she appreciates me. And vice versa. Then there's also the selfish bit where I know that you won't have energy to spend time with me if you're doing everything.
Yeah,
as well.
So then you go and do something so that we can have our evenings where I'm not like about to pass out because
And where you're happy with me.
And I'm happy with you, yeah.
So she's grateful for what I did, and then she has energy because of what I did, and then we can just enjoy some quality time, which is sparse. Or scarce? Is it? Which one? I don't know. Scarce when we have 3 little ones to deal with. They've been better on their bedtime though.
Yeah.
Adeline is. That was what I was gonna say earlier with me being so free before, because I could just take Ari.
Yeah.
So she was so used to me being around where we didn't have the issue. Where now, Adeline was over coddled. Like Jessica didn't want me doing anything with her just because she was like, he's stressed out, he's doing all this stuff. But then when it was my time to take Adeline, which is why I stay up so late to take that shift, she would never settle with me.
No.
Almost ever. And it
And
caused
then
a huge rift between me and her.
Yeah, we
for a
also
while. Now it's good.
We also weren't regular with our bottle feeding.
Yeah.
So
She
so
didn't
then you
take the bottle.
couldn't feed her all the time. It wasn't.
it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Esme's better, but Esme now still, she's just around you more.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing I can do about it, but I do try and at least like keep her with me and let her soothe around me, like if she is calm, because sometimes you're just like, just put her down. But I want her to still associate like my smell, my presence, everything with calm as well.
And that's gonna be a work in progress.
Excuse me.
Because when the first year is like, there's so many developmental changes that happen. So at each developmental change, we'll have to adjust
Yeah.
it and how we soothe her. Well, be consistent with the way we soothe her, but like how often Drak will be soothing her, might have to adjust that.
Yeah.
Go on, dear.
Such a good cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for gathering here today. But before going any further, could I ask the free citizens of Yulmore to look around? 'Tis a sight none of us would ever have seen under Lord Forthree's rule. Not only do we stand in the familiar presence of those we once called the Bonded, but today we welcome the peoples of the Derelicts and Gate Town too. Today we welcome the Warriors of Darkness, come to bear witness to Yulmore's new beginning. As you know, an election was recently held, at the end of which I had the honor of being chosen to succeed Lord Vorthree. You place great faith in me, and I promise to do my utmost to live up to your expectations, and I will seek always to carry out the duties of this office with integrity and fairness. Always, I say, but not forever. Let it be known that I do not intend to hold this post indefinitely. I consider myself but an acting mayor, who will serve only for the interim, while Yulmore is reshaped according to a new set of values.
Very good to point that out in your speech. I'm not gonna be here forever.
He's pulling the George Washington.
Yeah.
Reminds me of that Kim Possible episode. Democracy. That means no more kings.
That came out of nowhere.
It was like just the shift from Vothry being the monarch to.
No, I get the reference, but why Kim Possible?
Because
out of all the things you could have.
That one line has stuck with me for the longest time. Because it was this like ancient prophecy So they were watching after this prince,
Oh.
and then he partook in the
Lord Vorthree must be undone.
student council election,
But even as we tear
and
down the
for
old,
whatever reason that counted against their monarchy.
whatever the answer may be,
It's silly but funny.
it cannot be decided by one man alone. And so I propose that an open forum be held, that we might all discuss how best to strive towards a better future. However, there can be no talk of the morrow unless we first address the issues of today. Securing new sources of food, rebuilding relations with our neighbors, re-establishing industry. There is much and more that needs to be done. Too much for a mere man of business. And so I pledge instead to do everything in my power to ensure our city's security and stability while we all work together to see these problems solved.
Let's do it.
The road before us will not be easy, and I know full well how daunting the prospect of honest labor may seem to some of you. But we must accept the reality of our circumstances. We must move forward.
Yeah.
This much we owe to ourselves and to the brave heroes who risked their lives to bring back the night. Once we have shored up our city's foundations and regained some semblance of normality, let us reconvene to speak of the future. Until then, I humbly ask that you lend me and each other your strength. For Yulmore!
I didn't notice that scene. I think that's the thing that he built, or helped build, holding down Mount Golg
Oh,
in the background.
yeah. There we go. I was like, are we gonna be quiet? That's not a good start. It is such a big change for them, though.
Oh,
like
yeah.
like you said, this is the new Yulmore.
It's like going from thinking that the end is nigh, so we're just going to be complacent
Yeah.
with everything.
The cat.
I'm petting her, and then she jumps up and hits my hand. So I'm like jabbing. I don't want to hurt you, but you are making it very hard. Yeah.
The big change for Yulmore.
Yeah, and just like seeing the characters shift and seeing the world kind of heal was really
Yes.
cool. So
It will end it there, though.
yeah, pretty much got through the whole quest chain though in this sitting, so that was pretty good. A lot of back and forth because the baby. I hope she's okay. I forgot to turn back the monitor.
I can't hear anything, so
Yeah, no, she's passed out.
She's done.
Yeah, I was like, I would have heard her, but it's better to be sure. So yeah, if you have any more specific questions on what we talked about today, then let me know. Follow along or support on Patreon if you want your questions to get priority. There weren't a whole lot anyway, so kind of went free for all. But feel free to ask in the comments as well down below. We will most likely get to them. And yeah, so I hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
You have anything to say?
Oh, no,
Nothing
I hope that we get to do a dungeon next time so we can go through a bit more of ironing out my hot bars here. But I really enjoyed this quest line. I liked, like you said, the development of the character Chai Naz?
Chinese, yeah.
And News?
Actually, don't know.
Nuz?
I don't know.
Well, you guys will let us know in the comments below. But yeah, I really enjoyed the quest line, and yeah, feel free to ask away. We will be just chatting it up.
All right. Well, take it easy, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day, night, whatever. God bless you all. We'll see you next time. on the video.
Bye.